Hello YouTube and welcome to my review of Amazing Spider-Man #1, Volume 7. We're going to get into spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, here is your warning. ASM1 is a good jumping in point if you are looking to read Spider-Man. There's two things to know before reading. Peter Parker and Mary Jane are not together, and Norman Osborn has been reformed and is no longer the Green Goblin. Let's take a look at the creative team. The story is by Joe Kelly and art is by Pepe Larraz. The story opens with Peter Parker in a series of interviews. Some of the interview questions trigger some flashbacks and provide a good overview of Parker's life as Spider-Man. After not landing any of the jobs, Peter visits with Aunt May. Aunt May even mentions the Parker luck and him not landing any jobs. Peter is helping Aunt May settle into what looks like a new apartment when he gets a call and lands a job. An old friend, Brian Naring, who Aunt May remembers and doesn't seem to like, has helped Peter land a job with his company. This is the first appearance of Brian, but he appears to be an old middle school friend that Peter got into some trouble with back in the day. We cut to Peter and Brian catching up as Peter is off to meet with the boss to discuss the new position when Spider-Man duty calls. Peter has to run off and Brian covers for him. All right, so I'm interrupting my own review for a little real talk. Can't Peter Parker find a, non-9-to-5 job in today's, employment world out there, right? Post-COVID, we have a lot of remote jobs, work from home jobs, consulting jobs. I mean, maybe even the gig economy, Deliver, DoorDash, Instacart, one of those type things.
Pizza time.
You're late. I'm not paying for those.
All right, maybe the delivery, DoorDash would not be a good idea, but can't we think outside the box for a job for Peter? All right, let's get back to the review. Enter the Rhino. The Rhino's rampaging in the city, but Spider-Man notices something's off with Rhino because he's not reacting to any of the quips that Spider-Man's using. As they continue to fight, the Rhino drops to the ground in an apparent heart attack. Spider-Man uses CPR to revive him and notes it's like needing a block of concrete. Spider-Man does save him in time. We then cut to Kingsley Tower, the offices of Roderick Kingsley, the former Hobgoblin. He's concerned that the staff at Ravencroft, where Rhino is being held, might discover the cause of his heart attack from his blood work. But one of his associates has already intercepted it and doesn't believe the staff is too smart to find it anyway. But Kingsley believes that Spider-Man might become suspicious with his encounter with the Rhino. Kingsley mentions this to someone in the shadows, or maybe even an actual shadow, and they agree that the Shadow Man will deal with Spider-Man. Kingsley suggests that the Shadow dress to impress, and we see the Hobgoblin costume. We then cut to a double date with Parker and his date Shay, someone who he's been seeing for some time now, and Randy Robertson, one of Peter's good friends, and his blind date. Randy's date isn't going well, but Peter gets a bit of information about some strange occurrences in Harlem, the same place that the Rhino lives. With this information, Spider-Man investigates. He checks out the Rhino's apartment since he knows that he's not home. Good to see the spider light in action here too. We see some shadowy figures just as Spider-Man's spider sense goes off, and he begins to feel dizzy. We end the issue with this splash page and Spider-Man seeing a whole host of his foes. There are two backup stories in issue 1. Story 1 is featuring Norman Osborn, and he's just about to lose his cool at a press conference, and he realizes he needs to do better. The second story is about a group of researchers out in the desert looking for something, and they discover a new character called Hellgate. Overall, this was a good start to the rebooted series. I feel like if they did include the backup stories, it would have been even better. But overall, Joe Kelly knows how to write for Peter, Spider-Man, and I was glad to see the straightforward story with some classic villains. Pepe Larraz's art is really good, and you really get to see the contrast between his work and JRJRs from the backup story. So what is my rating for issue 1 of Amazing Spider-Man Volume 7? We use a 5 webhead system here, with 1 webhead being really bad and 5 being outstanding. But we're going to go with a 3 webheads, which is just above average. I thought overall it was, a good start to this new series. So let me know what you thought of this. Leave me a comment and let me know if you're reading this. And if you did, what did you think of the story and art? And if you're not, I hope you really enjoyed my review. And thanks so much for watching.